All right, let's do another video. We're still on clown genetics. So what happens if I took a spider clown and bred that to the clown gene? So a spider het clown bred to a clown. Well, if I'm lucky, all the babies would be, if I'm lucky, I'd be hitting on, you know, some different visuals. So basically, we have, from a visual to a het, we have the likelihood that half of the clutch will be clowns. We have a 25% probability we're going to hit the spider clown. And when we start combining a spider clown into the pastel clown, we start, you know, ramping things up. We'll go more over the genetics as far as dominance and incomplete dominance, but we would want to be doing, we're actually aiming to make the bumblebee clown. What the bumblebee clown is, we have, independent of each other, we have the recessive gene for clown. So if I bred a spider clown to a clown, I could not make bumblebees because it's missing the pastel. So this is pastel jungle, spider, which makes the bumblebee, layered over the recessive. The spider gene is dominant. So when I say something is dominant, it will behave very similar to a pastel jungle, but the spider expression, the visual het spider, is no different than the full expression spider, which means that a super spider, which is a full expression of spider, so a spider, if I take a spider het to a spider het and breed them together, I can make a super spider, but the super spider would look the same. So because it would look the same and there's no different visual look, I cannot tell them apart. So all of those spiders are basically possible het super spiders, and I'll never be able to tell. So there is no more extreme version of the spider gene. But if we do pastel jungle, a pastel jungle is the recessive expression of super pastel. So in this case, we basically take this snake, and if we breed this back to a clown, we could make, if we think independent of the clown base, if I breed a bumblebee back to a normal, I'm still producing half of the clutch in theory would be pastels. Half in theory would be spiders. They have a 25% likelihood of chance of crossing, but all resulting babies are still het clowns. So if you look at a bumblebee clown, it's a literal powerhouse. This animal bred to normals will make pastels, spiders, and bumblebees that are all 100% clown carriers. Let's throw a wrench in this little game. What happens if I took, suppose I just took a simple normal. This normal. Okay, so it's a het clown. What we're going to call this a het clown. All right, so we take this het clown and we were to breed this het clown to a normal wild type. What would happen? What do you call those babies? Well, those babies would all once again appear normal, but those are called 50% possible hets. So sometimes a breeder decides that they want to get a gene and they're so desperate to get the gene, they're going to go the long route. So they're going to take a het clown in this case to breed it to normals. Every baby they produce, each one of these eggs has a 50% chance of being a het clown, but we can't tell. So there's no way to tell that. But so why do we do that? Well, let's say that was a male and I bred it to 3 normal females and I made 18 eggs. And we'll call maybe, 8, 9, 10 of those are females. I then raise those females, those are 50% possible hets. I raise them and breed them back to the father, or I breed them like down the line. Now I've made a bunch of possible hets. Now I decide, well, maybe it's time to spring for a visual homozygous clown. I then take this clown and breed him back to all the female hets. What's going to happen now is all resulting babies are going to be 100% het clown, but since half of those in theory are heterozygous animals, I can start hitting the odds of a visual times a het and produce 50% clowns in each and every litter in theory. So the probability of each one of those from a clown to a het is 50%. So suddenly my limited expense that I put on a het male has now paid off. It may have taken me 3 years to do it, but I'll be rich in clowns, and then I can continue on my project. So there are ways to do something for just short money, as long as you're willing to have stamina. All right, nerd, recessive genetics, number 3. Say goodbye.